Today is day 22 and 23. I'm sorry I forgot to delete yesterday. It's actually I'm quite, I don't know. Well, I'm sorry for that. So day 22, emotion is sadness. I'm just going to kind of read it and then tell about my experience or something. Sadness is a fundamental human emotion that serves as a natural response to loss, disappointment, or difficult life events. I agree with that, and it often feels unpleasant. And sadness is a healthy emotion. Don't say that sadness makes people weak. No, it means someone is strong and that is healthy. That is normal emotion. And then, what makes sadness useful? Let's say sadness isn't just feeling bad; it has evolved to help us survive. Agreed. Visibly being sad can signal to friends and family that you need comfort, which helps you strengthen your social bonds. However, that can also backfire to you, like people can still ignore you, and that will make you drop even more, I think. So, depends on your environment. Your society can support you when you are being sad, or they can ignore you and makes you even more drop. Critical thinking. Mild sadness can actually improve attention to detail, memory, and judgment by making you more vigilant and less reliant on broad assumptions. Well, I think it's kind of right because I think whenever I cries and sadness that it's actually quite different, but I think kind of the same. It just makes you, I don't know, aware of everything, and I think that's somehow the same with what it is saying. Self reflection, it is the most right thing. Sadness makes you reflect on whatever you did or whatever others did to you. So it can motivate you to evaluate for the future comes, and I think that's the most useful of sadness. And then the symptoms is like crying is the biggest symptoms of being sad, like sad cry, not like happy cry. And then heaviness in the chest, and then tiredness, and then like when you need to cry, like when you just feel like you have to get something out of your eyes or out of your heart. I think that's sadness. And it can also makes you withdraw from your group, and then makes you lost interest on whatever you are doing. And then sometimes it is hard to differentiate between sadness and depression. Well, day 23 emotion is loneliness. Ooh, it's quite similar, quite related. Loneliness is subjective, distressing feeling that arises when there is a gap between the social connections you have and those that you want. So, when the social connection that you have and what you want is different, you can feel lonely. And then, uh, in this one, loneliness is different with solitude. Solitude is like being alone but you want it. However, loneliness is unwanted and painful. And then this is not about the number of social connection that you have, but more like the quality of the relationship itself. And oh, much like hunger tells you to eat, loneliness is your brain's social hunger signal, urging you to seek connection for survival. I think it's quite right because sometimes when I feel really lonely, even though I love solitude, I feel the need to suddenly to interact with others, to suddenly hug my siblings. Wow, brain social hunger signal, that sounds sick. And the common types is emotional loneliness, like missing connection, intimate connection with others, and then social loneliness, such as withdrawing yourself or lacking a bigger connection. And then existential loneliness, a fundamental sense of being separate from the rest of the world or the universe. I always feel this actually, like whenever I have a group friends or something, I always feel like I am being left out, and that feels really bad, unwanted and painful, just like it says. And whenever that happened, I was like, oh, okay. I was like being aware that I am left out, that I am separated from whatever they are doing, and I am alone in that crowded place. And I try to not think about it, because this world is not about me, even though being in a group doesn't mean the group is about me. But I try to just eat that fake that I am being left out and just continue. I'm still like trying to talk, or like if I was like really sad at that time, well, when I realized that I was being left out, I immediately be silent and then not talking anymore, and then do something by myself, because, well, I'm separated from them. Why do I need to interact anymore? And then I think feeling loneliness can definitely lead to depression. It's like sadness, and the fact that you are lonely, that you don't have anyone else, lead to depression and can lead to bigger issues such as suicide, and that's really hard. That's really bad. I mean, so whenever you feel like your brain signals you to interact with others, you have that social hunger, I think, please just immediately do that. Please reach anyone. Suddenly call me or suddenly call your friends. I think that's fun. That's fine, I mean. And when you think that you don't have anyone to talk about your feeling, I think just there must be one kind people. There must be one kind person that you have in your mind, right? Like, that person might be kind, that person looks kind, that person seems kind and always being kind. Even though you don't know them, just reach them, because they will open their arms, I think, mostly. And like, if someone suddenly call me and saying whatever they have in their mind, I will gladly open my arms, because I will help them. Just like it is. I mean, I will help them as much as I can, and because I know the hardness of being lonely, I don't want people to feel lonely, so I will do my best. I think that's all, and I will try to not skip any day again. Thank you.